Good afternoon, members of the media. Thank you for coming here this afternoon. I think it's important to first acknowledge that several hundred individuals who are present on the grounds of the House of Assembly this morning. I want to say that we do appreciate that they have come to express their views. It is indeed an indication of a healthy and strong democracy that we live in. I also want to say that we should be encouraged by this celebration of democracy being expressed by our fellow Bermudians, as long as we always do it in the appropriate way. And today, I wanted to address you to share the sentiments which I expressed earlier in the House of Assembly as it relates to the People's Campaign call for an island-wide withdrawal of labor. Members of the media, governments are called on to deal with very sensitive challenges that face the people that they serve. In doing so, governments must make difficult decisions, and not everyone will be satisfied, let alone pleased with the outcome. Immigration is one of these issues that is complex and passionate. No one has disputed the need for comprehensive immigration reform. No one has disputed the need to address the inequities that continue to exist in our society. There is, though, a difference in the path that various groups prefer to follow to achieve an outcome that we perhaps can all agree is necessary. In a mature democracy, we are able to express our views and our feelings without fear of retribution. I am indeed thankful that we live in a country that naturally grants, understands, and encourages this freedom. But with this freedom comes responsibility, a responsibility to each other, a responsibility to the wider community, a responsibility that should be cherished as much as the freedom to express ourselves. The call by the People's Campaign for an island-wide withdrawal of labor in response to this government's plan to engage in a full debate of its proposals for comprehensive immigration reform cannot be considered to be a responsible call to action. As government members and as members on both sides of the political spectrum, we were elected to debate these issues that a country must face, especially the most challenging, the most uncomfortable issues. The call to withdraw labor is intended to disrupt life in Bermuda, inconveniencing many families and interfering with the delivery of services. Children will not be able to get transport to school. Our classrooms will be empty. Parents will be forced to remain home from work to care for them. The list of disruptions goes on. The call for the withdrawal of labor threatens Bermuda's work as we continue to rebuild our economy. Work that produces jobs and opportunities for Bermudians sorely needed as they provide for their families. It will impact us far beyond our shores and far beyond today. This government hears the concerns of the people regarding immigration reform. We know there are those who are uncomfortable with these proposals. There are also many who welcome them. As it relates to this immigration policy, we believe the proposals are good for Bermuda. We hear all viewpoints, and it is our duty and responsibility to govern for the benefit of all Bermuda. That is our mandate, and that is how we will continue moving this country forward, making the tough decisions for a strong and prosperous future that serves the interests of all Bermudians. So, fellow Bermudians, let us debate. Let us express our views, and let us do so passionately. But let us do it with tolerance, respect, and responsibility. Thank you.
Is there no room in your conversation you've had so far with the unions for compromise? Have any ideas come up that would have given you wiggle room or take some of the steam out of this situation?
I think there is room. As I said on the floor of the House of Assembly during the hour question period, the president of the BIU sent me a letter on Tuesday afternoon. I shared it with colleagues, and we replied on Wednesday. And at the end, I said that we're open to discuss issues. I haven't heard from the BIU since that letter was delivered on Wednesday.
The coming into effect of this has been put as the summer. Has any thought been given to delaying the start of this for further consultation or even putting it beyond the next election?
Brian, when people are entrenched in their position and not listening to the dialogue that's going on, it is very difficult for one to continue to kick the can down the road. When we understand that the BIU Special Counsel and the People's Campaign and those who are taking that approach, when we understand that they're really interested in discussing these subjects, as Minister Fay put some on the table yesterday, then we can make some progress. This government believes we are taking the right approach, and we've had tremendous support from throughout the community. And I've referred just to one thing. The online petition for those who support pathways is at 70% compared to those who are against pathways and want some type of immigration reform. And when you ask people, what is immigration reform? Many people can't tell you. There are so many people who don't understand what this process is all about. This process is not about taking jobs away from Bermudians. Look at us around here. We're the mosaic of Bermuda. This is a diverse political party that comes from all sectors of our community. Why would we want to disenfranchise Bermudians? Why would we want to make the future more difficult than it is today? We don't want that. We are trying to save Bermuda. We're trying to put Bermuda in a better position going forward. And when you do that, it takes some time for people to understand the challenges you face. When we took over in 2012, we were broke. We still struggle. And sometimes it takes courage to stand up in the face of adversity. And look at this team right here. This team is standing up in the face of a small minority who don't see the right way forward. This government will not allow Bermuda to go backwards. We'll continue the progress and we'll continue to listen to people, but they need to come to the table. They need to come to the table and understand that we have to discuss things in an appropriate and respectful and tolerant way.
Can you personally, Premier, see a light at the end of the tunnel?
I'm an optimistic person, so I always believe in a better day tomorrow. But people need to listen to other people. People need to actually drop down some of the barriers that they have. People need to get over some of the hate that they have for individuals on either side of this equation. And I'm not saying it's a one-sided thing. We're in a very difficult position as leaders. We were elected to govern, and we will do that, even in the face of tough decisions and adversity. Any further questions? Thank you, members of the media.